Hey everybody, Scott Rogalski here with RaceBumTV, and I'm here with my friend Casey at ArrowLane checking out some of these badass race cars. How you doing tonight, Casey?
Not too bad.
How did you get into this? These are some of the most awesome cars I've seen.
I've always wanted to go racing. It was just a career path. Did pro racing for a number of years, and kind of this evolved when I decided to have family and have kids. Started here as an employee. My business partner, Chris Hines, asked me to come on as a partner a couple years ago, and this is kind of where we're at.
So how many cars do you take care of, or racing enthusiasts do you take care of?
Right now, we have 10 customers. We take care of 55 race cars.
What are the different styles of race cars? Like, are they all professional? Are they SCCA? Or what are they?
We have a little bit of everything. We primarily focus on vintage racing. And under that umbrella, it's right now everything pre-1994. So we have everything from Can-Am cars.
Yeah, I was looking at this Can-Am car.
Yeah,
This is
Can-Am
badass.
to tube chassis Trans Am cars.
So the purple one is what they call a tube chassis Trans Am car.
So this would have been from like mid 80s to late 90s.
What kind of horsepower are we talking?
650.
Now, who's the driver of this Can-Am car?
Walt Brown.
Walt Brown.
Yep.
Nice car. Big shout out to Walt Brown. Is this by any chance the Brown and Brown Chevy guys?
No.
Nope, not same family?
Nope. He has Brown Automotive over here.
Uh-huh.
And they deal in classic cars. So
This is a badass Can-Am car.
yeah, we've got Can-Am cars, early Trans Am cars, sports racers, Indy cars.
What kind of a car is this right here? I was
Ford
noticing.
Cortina.
Ford
This
Cortina.
is
What
the
year?
Lotus Cortina, 65. It has twin cam motor. This
Still
car,
working on it.
yeah, it's in a restoration process. This car put a lot of Corvettes to shame.
What about the two behind it?
1980 March M80-6. This was Jacques Villeneuve's championship car in 1980.
No kidding.
So, yep. Currently housed here in Phoenix. The driver likes to go and have fun. And then behind that's a Brabham BT29 from mid-60s. And it's a fun little sport, you know.
This is a cool little car. Now, what about the number 26 over here?
GT350 Shelby. It was the Mondo racing car. Ran beat production in SCCA back in the late 60s, early 70s.
And what about the 57, I should say?
So this was a former nationwide car. It ran the Mexico City race. It also ran Montreal. Our customer acquired it when it was professionally raced. PJ Jones was the driver.
I remember PJ.
Yep. And now our customer Gordon Johnson owns it. He takes it out and goes plays with it. Let's just have a good time. So.
Okay, I noticed this one is in some pretty rough condition here.
This is a Can-Am car going through a restoration. It's a Huffaker Genie. It's an early car. So it's before monocoques. It's still when they were building tube chassis. They're pretty spindly, but they're ridiculously fast.
What kind of a motor is that? That's
Small block Chevy.
Just small block
So
Chevy.
yeah, about 358 cubic inches. That tends to be the standard. It's about 700 horsepower.
Very cool. Let's move over to a couple of the ones over here. Red car up on top. What do we got here?
That is a Shelby. It's a CSX car, so it's a continuation car. Back in the mid 80s, Shelby American decided they were going to build a bunch of these race cars and have like a Legends race. They're going to get a bunch of the old guys to race them. It never got off the ground. So
Very cool. Very cool. Now what about this yellow one?
Old Yeller. This is Old Yeller number 8. Max Belkowski built the car. He built, I believe, 10 of them. But this was number 8. The significance to this car was it was in Elvis Presley's movie Viva Las Vegas.
No kidding.
So, yep. There's a second nose to the car because the movie producers didn't think it looked sporty enough.
Sporty.
So, yeah. That's a big significance. It was an okay race car.
And I heard a couple people talking about this car.
So this is an Echidna. They built 3 of these. They were raced out of Minnesota. It was essentially a group of gentlemen that wanted to beat the deep production Jaguars. So they started with a 56 full-size Oldsmobile, narrowed the chassis and shortened it, put Corvette fuel-injected engine and transmission in it, 59 Chevrolet station wagon rear end because station wagons at the time had heavier duty parts because they were trucks.
Very cool.
They were Suburbans. And then a Devon fiberglass body. In 59, they won the D production championship and C production. So
Okay, we got to walk out front because now these are some really wild cars.
There's some interesting stuff here.
I didn't know if you had a set of, yeah, your lights are on pretty good.
Yep.
Orange car, number
So,
26.
This is a Lola T70. This came out of Carl Haas's shop. Chuck Parsons drove the car. He ran Road America with it, won the Road America 500 at the time. This is the early Can-Am. They raced Can-Am and at the time what they called USRRC. There were some different rules. Can-Am truly was unlimited racing. The rules basically were you had to have fenders, you had to have tires. Go. And these wild machines came out of it. I mean, they're super lightweight, 1,200 pounds, big V8 engines, and as fast as these guys can get them to go.
What about number 1? This is my car.
This is a GT40. It's currently configured as Mark II. It's affectionately known as Big Earl. It was built as a prototype for the Mark IVs. It has an aluminum monocoque that was built by Abbey Panel in England, which is the same company that did a lot of Bruce McLaren's work. Bruce McLaren assembled the car, did a little bit of R&D over in Europe with it. It got shipped to Holman and Moody. Holman and Moody tried to do some stuff with it, weren't very successful. Carroll Shelby needed a car to run 12 hours of Sebring. They shipped it over to Carroll. He did some stuff to it, changed the transmission to a Hewland so it'd be reliable, and won 12 hours of Sebring. That's the most extensive race in the history of it. It wasn't super successful in other areas. So
What about this bad
it's a
boy? up
Decon
there?
Monza. That's the bad of the bad right there.
It's awesome. I wish I apologize for my lighting, everybody. I just caught Casey off guard, and he graciously allowed me to come in here and videotape his collection.
Decon built these cars in the 70s, and in IMSA, these were the guys to beat. They didn't run turbos. They were kind of the American bad boys, big V8s. This car went to Huffaker Engineering, and the boys at Huffaker went through it and did their tweaks to it. They were fast. I mean, they dominated, and they're cool. I mean, when you see a Monza and then you see a Monza race car, they're not the same. So
Porsche, what do we got here?
this is a 911 lightweight. So these cars, they didn't build a whole ton of them. It was built to go racing. Everything on it was built for lightweight. So it's kind of a special car. It ran Rennsport this year.
Oh, you took it.
So-
Okay.
Yep.
Got a couple 914s. I know that one of this belonged to the owner or something like that.
Both
Remember
of
you
them,
telling-
both of them do.
Both of them do.
They belong to the lady that started this business. So
And then there's some kind
it's
of.
an Indy Lights car. So,
Wish I had better lighting, guys. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
come here during the day.
So we got a little bit of everything going on.
Casey, thank you so
Oh,
much
no
for
problem.
showing us around.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it
Yeah.
so much.
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody. I know that this was I didn't have the best lighting in the world. This was kind of a spur of the moment. I came here for a meeting, and I figured I would share all the cars that I saw. I'll see you guys at the races. Have a great evening, everybody.